Okay, today we're going to draw a two-building street, 2 stores on the street. So, first off, the lower part of your paper, to draw your horizon line. Remember to draw lightly. I'm going to draw darker so you can see it. Okay, then I'm going to put my 2 vanishing points all the way out to the ends, as close to the end as I can be. Now, I'm going to make the first store, over on the left, towards the left. So I'm going to draw a line, a vertical line. Try to make sure it's vertical. So line your ruler on the edge of the paper and then slide it over. And I'm going to make, now a building has to be both above and below the horizon line. It's at viewpoint, at your eye level. So I'm going to draw a vertical line. Oh, we'll go about 5.5 inches long. No, make it 4.5 inches long. Okay, so there's my vertical line. Now, anything to the left of this is the corner of the building. Anything to the left goes to the left vanishing point. So I'm going to line up my vanishing point in the top of that line. And the bottom of that vertical line, the corner of the building, to the left vanishing point. Now anything to the right of this corner of the building goes to the right vanishing point. So again, I line up the top corner of the building to the right vanishing point, and the bottom corner to the right vanishing point. You are drawing lightly. I'm drawing a little bit darker so you can see it. Okay, now I want to close off my building. So I'm going to pick a spot over here. Okay, this is vertical here, so I'm going to slide it over. So I decide where I want to stop my building, I'm going to stop it there. That's the left side of the building. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the right. I'm going to start at the corner. I'm going to slide my ruler over so it stays vertical. And the right side of the building. Remember, you are still drawing lightly. Now I'm going to add in a second building. The second building is going to be a little bit shorter, and I'm going to put it on the right side. I'm going to make it shorter, so I'm going to pick a spot that's shorter than the other one. About right here looks good. And it's on the right side of this corner. It's on the right side of the corner, so it goes to the right vanishing point. If I wanted to another store on the left, then I would do where it starts and go to the left vanishing point. But I'm doing the right. Now the bottom has to be the same level. So now I'm just going to line my ruler up again so that it's vertical. And I'm going to pick a spot for where that other store is going to stop. And I'll put it back here. Now remember, it's the shorter line, not the tall line. Okay? Now, let's draw a sign on this building start it over here. So I need a vertical line. About a 1/2 inch tall. I'm on the right side of this corner, so it goes to the right vanishing point. Remember to draw lightly. And the bottom of that vertical line still goes to the right vanishing point because it's on the right side of that corner. Okay, and let's title this, bakery. So I'm going to put in a sign that says bakery. So B. A. K. E. R. And a Y. And I draw a vertical line for the end of my sign. Okay. Now let's put a door in. This is the front of the store, so we need the door over here. I need a vertical line. And then the top of that vertical line goes to the right vanishing point. Remember to draw lightly. I'm drawing darker so you can see it. You draw lightly right now. And then I slide over. And I'm going to make this double door, so I'm going to go once more over. Give it some handles here in the middle. And there's my door. Okay, now let's give this store over here a sign. So again, I need a vertical line. Top and bottom go to the vanishing points to the right, because I'm still on the right side of the building, of the corner. I'm going to make this grocery store. You don't need to make them block letters. I'm just doing that just for fun. Close off my sign with another vertical line. So now I'm going to erase, because I've got so many lines going on. You should not have to erase if you do it lightly enough. Because the horizon line is not going to be, the horizon is not going to be seen. Through the building. Can't see, it's not a see-through building, so I have to erase the horizon line here. And erase some of my vanishing lines. Okay, so that looks a little better. Now, this one over here needs a door, right? Okay, so it needs to be the same height as this one. Doors are all the same consistent height. So I'm going to use this line that I drew to the vanishing point. I'm going to darken it in so you can see where it was. See, if I draw this line back in to the vanishing point, it goes right through right there. So I'm going to put a door there. I need a vertical line on one side and a vertical line on the other side of that door. And put a doorknob. Okay. Now this one needs a window. I'm going to put a window in there. So, to put a window, I'm going to put a vertical line up here. That's where I want my window to go. It's on the right side of the building, so I go to the right vanishing point. Top and bottom. Now I'm going to close it off, make it a window. I need a vertical line. So I need a vertical line in the middle to make it look like a window. And in the middle of that, to the vanishing point. Okay, there's my window. Now let's put a few windows over here. So let's pick a spot for the window. It's going to be about the same height as this one. We'll go right about there. Now I'm on the left side of the building. So these use the left vanishing point. And I close this off for a window. And then I need my vertical line for the middle of the window. And my middle line. There's my window. I'm going to do a second window using those same vanishing point lines. So I'm going to start one here. End it. It's going to be in the building, right? On the building. So it's going to end here. This one goes in the middle. Okay, so let me lighten some things so you can see the building, the windows. Now do you see my windows? with, okay, that's my buildings. I'm going to erase some lines over here. Okay, I still have my horizon line in there. That's important to have. I'm going to darken that in so you can definitely see it. There's my horizon line. Now, we need a sidewalk. So, I'm going to decide how wide of a sidewalk. I'm just going to kind of pick a spot here. I'm going to draw from the left vanishing point out this way. Draw lightly. Now from the right vanishing point, that looks too wide. I think I'll go skinnier. Bring it in skinnier. That looks about right. Okay, there's part of my sidewalk. Now I need to make the space between the blocks, cement blocks for that. So I'm going to go start with the right vanishing point, and it's going to be there. Then I'm going to move back some, there, a little bit further back, there, further back, there, and one more back here, there. So between those two, this is my sidewalk, see it's going back. Okay. Now, it needs some thickness. The sidewalk isn't just a thin line, it's got some thickness. So I'm going to drop just a little bit down from that vanishing line that I drew for the edge of the sidewalk. And now this is the bottom of the sidewalk. Now this needs to be a vertical line. Okay. And now I can make the thickness on this side, the bottom edge of the right side to the right vanishing point. Now let's make the blocks for the cement sidewalk over here. So now I'm using the left vanishing point. There's my sidewalk over there. Now let's make a road. We need a road. So the road's going to come all the way to the edge of my paper. I'm going to start with the left vanishing point. Bring it to the edge of my paper. And then the right vanishing point, and it's going to still come to the edge of my paper because it's going to come off of the road. The road's coming towards me on both sides. This is the corner of the road. Now, this sidewalk, I'm going to continue over here. I erase this line because now that's the rest of the road. So let's give it the yellow stripes so that we know it's a road. I use the left vanishing point for the left side and the right vanishing point for the right side. I'm just going to go yellow stripe, space, yellow stripe, space. There's my road over there. Now I got to line up with the right vanishing point. Try to find where about the middle is of that road. And go. Leave some space so you have the yellow dotted lines. There's the road. Okay, so my foreground is the road and the sidewalk. My middle ground is the buildings. Now I need a background. So let's draw a tree back here. Remember, a tree starts out below the horizon line, curves in and up, and goes above the horizon line for part of it. It has to be part of it below and part of it above. Now, no popsicle trees, so I want some branches. And I'm going to do another one. This one will this way. So I'm not drawing any popsicle trees. I'm drawing trees that are growing up and out. Okay, let's give it some trees over here. Now this tree is going to start out behind the grocery store. And one right down here. Now let's give it some clouds. Clouds are flat on the bottom and puffy on the top. And they're going to go behind. We're going to use overlapping, so they're going to go behind the building. So it looks like it's the background. Just put in a few clouds. We don't need a whole lot. That looks good. Okay. Now we need to shade. The light's coming from the above left. So coming from over here. So let's start with the clouds. The clouds get darker on the bottom. I'm going to use charcoal. You need to use charcoal. And then lighter as they go up. I'm going to smear with my finger. Just pick a few spots here. And then I'm going to go back in and get my highlights back in there. Don't want it to be too dark, it's a cloud. On to the next one. Put a light coating. Smear it with my finger. back in with my eraser and get some nice highlights, nice white spots. One more cloud to do. Smear it. Now you can put mountains in the background. You can have all kinds of fun for creativity. You get points for creativity when you do your building. Okay, there's my clouds. Now I'm going to start to shade some of my buildings. Okay, now be careful. This is where it's going to get messy. So always work from top to bottom so you don't quite make as much of a mess. You're going to have to kind of hold your hand up above the drawing so you don't smear anything. I'm going to start by coloring in the sign. I'm going to make the lettering dark, leave the sign white. Okay. Go over to grocery and make my sign for grocery darkened in. Then I'm going to color in very lightly. I'm going to do a little bit of shadow. It's going to be pretty light over here. I'm going to use more the side of my charcoal. And I'm going to smear it. Lightens it up. Try to be neat. Try to stay in your lines so I can see that you've got a nice vertical line and that your horizontal lines all go to the vanishing point. When you get to the edge of the windows, take your time. You don't want to cross over into them at all. Make sure not to lose your vertical lines. Make sure they look nice and vertical still. Try to make it the same even value from top to bottom. Turn your paper, then turn it so you can make sure you get nice edges. Remember, this is the lighter side, so try not to make it too dark. Okay, now, this side is going to be darker, so I'm going to go a little bit darker. Put down a little more charcoal, but I don't need to go super dark. I don't want it to be a black building. long as it's darker than the other side. Notice that I'm constantly turning so that I can get nice crisp lines. They don't cross over into my lines at all. I can double it from both directions, that way it kind of gets rid of the one directional line. Grocery store, I'm going to make just a little bit lighter than this one. Not as light as this side though. This is why you want to make sure you don't have to erase, because your lines will show up more if you erase than if you just draw lightly. A little bit too far, so I erase a little bit. I'm not coloring that door in yet. Okay, now color in my windows. Okay, if it's on the right side of the building and above the horizon line, I'm going to see the edge over here, farthest away from me over here, and the top edge. So I'm going to darken that edge in and that edge in. And then I'm going to go over those. There's a window. We have a few little reflection marks, so I know it's a window. And now on this side, I'm going to see, it's on the left side, so I'm going to see the left side of the window. And it's above the horizon line, so the top of the window. So the left side of the window, and the top edge of the window. Then I'm going to do my grid lines. And a few little reflection marks. So we know they're windows. Remember, you're holding your hand above so you don't smear anything. Okay, this door is going to be a dark crease in between. I'm going to give them some dark handles and then a real light coating. I want to make this light because it's just a lighter color. I want it different than my wall. And I'm not going to smear that, I'm just going to leave it. Now this one over here, I'm going to make dark. And I didn't forget about my handle. I'll go back in just a moment and get it back in there. Remember to be careful on your edges. Now I'm going to take and erase for my handle because I want it to be lighter. Here's my handle. The trees, okay, the light's coming from the left and they're going to be darker on the right. Some more dark on the right. Lighten it up on the left with my eraser. Leave it dark on the right. Need an in-between value to make it look like it's a cylinder. Remember, trees are cylinders. Darker on the right, between values, branches, leaves. As long as you don't draw a popsicle stick tree. Zoom in on that so you can see that better. There's my trees. See how it's lighter, darker, and then the leaves and the branches. Lighter, darker, and the leaves on the branches, not drawing a popsicle tree. Okay, now, sidewalk. I'm going to leave basically white except for the pieces in between here. So I'm going to go over those in charcoal. And the edge is going to be darkened in some. Smear it because I don't want it too dark. Same with this over here. I'm going to give it a little bit lighter value because this is what direction the light's coming from. Okay, and now I'm going to do the vines down the road. Give it a little grass in some spots here. Little grass over here. Doesn't have to be solid. I'm going to leave some white. Just kind of putting some lines in for grass. Okay, this up here is going to be all grass, so I'm going to cross over a little bit. I'm just going to put some lines. Then overlap this side, this edge of the road, because it's in front, the grass is in front over here. Same over here, I need some grass over here. Again, some of it's going to cross over in front of that road. Okay, so I've got grass and road for the foreground. I've got buildings, sidewalk, and the trees for the middle ground, the sky and clouds for the background. Zoom back out so you can see it. Okay, now you need to sign your work. Always sign your work. So, bottom right corner, sign it, date it with the year at least, and you are